everybody, this is Tansy Matheson, founder of Foundations Bodywork, where we help people to transform their body into the body of their dreams, so you can look great, feel great, and fully enjoy all of the things that make your life worth living. Now there are 6 secrets to achieving this level of transformation. 3 things that you put in your body and 3 things that you do with your body to achieve an outstanding body and an outstanding life in every way. These 6 secrets are tapping into your body's natural ability to heal itself and to grow, so you can speed up that process and get further than you thought you could get, faster than you may have thought was possible. In our last video, we talked about the 3 things that you put into your body. Today, we're going to talk about the 3 things you do with your body, which are the 3 aspects of movement. Because let's face it, most of us do not move our bodies well. You're either stuck at a desk all day or doing some sort of manual labor or physically intensive job, whether that's a sport, heavy lifting, and it takes a toll on your body. Most of us really believe that it's normal as you get older for your body to get tighter and less flexible and to start hurting. That it's normal that once you have an injury, your body will never be the same again. Or that when you have a debilitating chronic condition, something like chronic back pain, migraine headaches, sciatica, that you're pretty much stuck with it for life. Or that the only ways to treat it are medications and surgery. If there's one thing you get out of today, I want you to learn the difference between treating something versus restoring your body to its natural state of health so that you just don't have a problem anymore. And the difference is this. For example, a migraine headache. A lot of people get migraines throughout the day or some form of headache and take aspirin to feel better. But what was the cause of that headache? We tend to think of the pain as the symptom and the headache as the problem. But realistically, the headache is just a symptom of something. And that something is not an aspirin deficiency. So aspirin is not truly going to restore your body to the state it needs to be in. It's just masking the symptoms and allowing you to do more damage to yourself over time without realizing it. The underlying issue is usually that your neck and head are not moving enough, or they're not moving in the right way, so the muscles tighten up. And either the muscles themselves get irritated and cause pain, or they pinch a nerve, and then you get nerve pain causing the headache. Either way, it ends up just boiling down to you're not moving properly. The same thing is true of most back pain, slip discs, rotator cuff injuries, hip pain, sciatica, carpal tunnel, knee pain, plantar fasciitis. The list goes on. Most of the things that put us in pain on a daily basis are simply a matter of we're not moving right. Something is not moving enough, so something else moves too much, and that thing that moves too much ends up hurting. So the trick to getting your body back to a place where you're not in pain, where you can move freely, get through your day with ease, is to restore it to that natural state of health. And today you're going to learn that there are 3 steps to getting back to that natural state of health: mobility, coordination, and strength. Mobility is movability, your ability to move to get into different positions, also known as flexibility. Coordination is using the right muscles to get there, so that everything is working together like a well-oiled machine and you don't have kinks along the way that cause problems. And then strength is the ability to move in that coordinated manner when you have some kind of resistance, whether that resistance is your own body weight, a box you're picking up, or something pushing back against you. So you see they kind of stack on top of each other, and that's why it's important that they go in this order. Because you might be starting out completely immobile in a wheelchair, or a completely locked up joint. I see this especially after joints have been damaged from sports injuries or broken, and you can get back from that state of absolutely no mobility to full mobility and full strength and everything moving properly. You might also be starting somewhere in the middle of the spectrum where you can get along pretty well, but you want to get out of pain or you want to have a higher level of performance. The path is the same. You could even be a professional athlete and looking to get that extra edge on your game, where you already have pretty good mobility, pretty good coordination, and pretty darn good strength, including speed, agility, and it's just what can I do for those last few tweaks that are going to get me a little bit further ahead of the competition and make the difference between winning and losing this game. And no matter where you're starting on the path and no matter where you want to end, the pathway is the same: increasing mobility, increasing coordination, and increasing strength. Now you need a certain level of mobility before you can really start the coordination, and same thing before you start the strength. But even once you've gotten pretty strong on all three of them, there's always room for improvement, and you're going to learn all of that right now. For each of these, I'm going to give you 3 action items to get started, and if you look on the page below, there is an attachment, just a one-page PDF you can download that will have both of these action steps and then 3 advanced action steps if you want to take it even further on your own after this video. So we're going to start with mobility, and the first 2 really go together, so I'm going to teach them together for you. Those 2 are mobility-based bodywork, which is a process of taking things that are really locked up, beyond the point where you could work through them on your own. Those things that hurt too much to stretch or just don't get any longer. And use special techniques with someone helping you to be able to get that increased mobility. And the second is PNF stretching, which is a way that you can stretch on your own to stay loose and to stretch out some of the things that maybe don't have scar tissue, aren't too badly injured. Now, I have a special treat for you today, because instead of just telling you about them, I want you to see for yourself how these things work in action. And I know if I showed them to you on my own body or brought in some other, special athlete or person who has a great body, you'd say, oh, of course they can do it. But I want you to see that you can do it. That someone who has never seen any of this before can come in and achieve amazing results the first time they ever try this, just by following this system. So today I have a special guest for you, and that's my friend Don. Everybody welcome Don.
Okay, my name is Don, and I'm 63 years old. I'm looking to lose weight, get my joints where I can move around a lot better. Hopefully at one point maybe get rid of this cane. Definitely get rid of aches in my ankles, in my knees, in my back. So just generally trying to get healthy again. And it's been difficult, but I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do.
So a lot of Don's knee pain is coming from the fact that his ankles aren't moving very much, so then his knees are trying to do all the work that his ankles are used to doing. So we're going to take a look at his ankles and improve some of the mobility there, and it's going to help his knees a lot. Now, Don's got some screws, staples, a whole bunch of other old injuries and surgeries in here, so we're going to have to be very careful, but we should still be able to see a big difference in how they move. So right now, the left one just goes about that far and doesn't really straighten out at all.
No.
And barely moves side to side. So there's very little movement in here, just a tiny bit of forward and back. And it looks like this one's even tighter. Was this the one that you had that surgery on in here?
I had both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they split the muscle in front, and brought it around back and hooked it to the back of my heel. So would keep my foot pointing down more. But I don't have good circulation in my legs anyway, never have. So.
So we're going to be gentle because we don't want to do any blood vessel damaging. We're going to be real gentle, but we're going to still be able to get much better mobility. So what I'm going to have you do, it's kind of like the stretch we did with your hip, where you're going to push back against my hand. And just hold that for a couple of seconds, and release. You feel that difference already? Now with the ankles, it's not a very visible difference.
No.
But you can start to feel that. Now I'm going to add into that, push back against my hand. I'm going to try to find the tightest muscles in here. And I'm going to work with them a little bit while you're contracting. Relax. Relax now. There you go. So you feel that's a lot softer. I'm even feeling a little click in there.
Yeah, it's a bone spur.
Yeah. But it also shows, the joint's moving in a way that it wasn't before.
Right.
As you can see, it only took about 30 seconds to increase his ankle mobility by 18 degrees, which is enough to significantly change the way that he can walk. So now let's see the same thing on his knees. So let's take a look at your knees, which you say are what pretty much hurts you most, right?
Yeah, particularly my left one, that's the bad one.
So for most people who have knee pain, it's actually because the kneecap, which is the little bone in here, doesn't move properly. And so when you try to bend your knee, it gets kind of stuck, glued on, because your quadriceps, which are the muscles in here, aren't long enough and they're pushing it back against the bone, and that causes grinding. So let's take a look here. So you feel it just kind of gets stuck. It's not moving very much in any direction. So what I'm going to have you do is just like we did with the hip stretch. I'm going to have you squeeze these muscles while I stretch.
Okay.
Okay. And relax. Feel it start to move. And do the same thing. And relax. And same thing. And relax. And the same thing. And relax. Now I'm going to open up the knee joint. So right now your knee pretty much doesn't go past 90 degrees, right?
I can feel it stretching way over here though.
Yep. Whereas, a healthy knee would be able to come all the way back and really have your heel touch your butt. So we're going to increase that mobility. I'm going to have you push your ankle forward into my hand. So we're stretching out these muscles along the top and the outside of your thigh, and I can feel it's nice and tight. Okay, and relax. But it doesn't hurt, right? Just just a little bit of a stretch.
It's just tight.
Yep, and I can feel your kneecap grinding a little bit.
Oh yeah.
That's super tight.
I've hit my knees so many times.
Yep, so push forward with your ankle again. And what I'm doing here is I'm actually working the tendon, not just the muscles, but also the other connective tissue that holds it all together. And relax. And you see how we're starting to get more motion.
Man.
Now I want you to try to twist your leg in so your toes kind of pointed to the middle while you push forward. You feel how that engages different muscles, so I can work these ones now.
Yes.
Loosen them up. And relax. There you go. So we've already got about another 20 degrees.
Just in that little bit, wow.
Just in that little bit. That's it. So again, you can see that in just a couple of minutes, we took the most painful spot on Don's body and increased that mobility by 10 to 15 degrees, which is huge and is going to make a tremendous difference in how he feels. We continued to work together for just about 30 minutes, and now at the end, take a look at Don walking without his cane. Do you feel more balanced?
I do.
So as you can see, a very short amount of time can produce really incredible results. Don went from walking with the cane because of not having enough balance, and with just a little bit of work on getting everything mobile so that his body could straighten out and he could put weight over the right parts of his body instead of trying to overuse those muscles. His balance improved enough that he could start walking around without his cane and starting to feel more comfortable. So that's the mobility-based bodywork part. And PNF stretching, which you can do on your own, is the basis of everything we just did, where you push back and then relax, and it stretches more deeply. And you can take any of the existing stretches that you're already doing, or if you don't have already, you can look some up online, and we'll be posting more on foundationsbodywork.com. And if your existing stretch is just to stretch a little bit and hold, all you have to do is add in pushing back and then relaxing, and you're going to start to see a much bigger difference. Now the third piece of mobility is then to solidify all of that, to keep moving throughout the day. The mobility-based body work is going to break up adhesions and get things loose that really couldn't come loose on their own. The PNF stretching is going to do a great job of lengthening your muscles and connective tissue over time. And by keeping moving, you're going to make sure that all of that stays loose. And keep moving, I don't just mean move a little bit, but actually using that full range of motion throughout the day, whether it's while you're sitting at your desk, getting up and going for a walk, making sure that you keep yourself active through that whole range of motion that you need, so that it's always there for you when you need it. Now, you notice with Don's walk that he's still walking pretty lopsided. There's still some weird imbalances in his hips. And a lot of that is actually just what he's used to doing now because his hips have been tight for so long. So that's where we get into coordination. Because no matter how loose you get, if you don't start using that new range of motion properly, then you're not really making much of a difference for yourself. So the first step for coordination is to fix your body map. Now, your body map is a map you have in your head of how your body works. So just like if you were driving a car, and the map you had in your head of your neighborhood was different than what the neighborhood actually looked like, you'd get lost. Same thing, you're driving your body, and if how you think your body works is different from how it actually works, you're going to be causing a lot of tension and in the long term pain. So fixing your body map is a matter of first learning how your body is supposed to work in terms of how it's supposed to move, like for example, moving, twisting from your forearm instead of from your wrist, which is the cause of a lot of carpal tunnel. Or as we'll see with Don, also as you walk, extending from your hip instead of using your low back and your hamstrings. Once you have a better idea of how your body map works, you're going to want to wake up the muscles so that they can start to get coordinated right. Because what happens is when you don't use a muscle for a long period of time, it loses the neurological signals going to it to tell it to fire, and the muscle itself actually shrinks or atrophies and gets weaker. So you need to wake that muscle back up to get the nerves flowing again, to get the muscle stronger again, so that you can start to use that properly in a coordinated movement. Now let's go back to Don and see that in action. Because now that we got the front of your hips a little bit looser, they're probably still used to being tight, but they can move more now. So you're not going to take a full step. What I'm going to have you do is just put that one foot forward.
Okay.
And instead of twisting your hips like that,
Yeah.
I want you to lean your hips forward like that lunge.
Okay.
And just stay that way.
Like this?
Mm-hmm. And so you feel how, yep, don't bend your knees because you're just taking a normal step.
Okay.
But you're going to push your hip forward so that instead of twisting.
Instead of doing this?
Right, so instead of doing that, you're just coming straight forward.
Okay.
And now put the right foot in front of the left one. And same thing, now lean the hips straight forward.
Yeah, that's where the balance comes in.
Right, because this is your weak hip.
Yeah.
So what happens when you take a normal step forward is that you're engaging this glute to open up that hip and push your hips forward.
Okay.
So you need to build strength up in that muscle and get it used to firing. And then you'll be able to walk straight instead of walking
And is it
that way.
this side?
It's mostly that left side
This
is
side
weak.
over here? Yeah.
Now they're both looser, so they have the mobility, but you don't have the coordination and strength built
Well,
up
that's for
yet.
sure.
But you're like halfway there. So try just real slow, and you can use your cane. Just walk, and instead of doing the twisting, do everything you can
to keep my hips straight.
your hips straight.
Okay, I'll work on that.
Go ahead and try it now. Let me take a look. There you go. Not only can Don now walk straighter, look how much straighter he's standing. Just after 30 minutes of body work, he's about 50% of the way from where he was toward being perfectly straight.
In all honesty, and I'm not a smoke blower, okay? I feel like I could get out and walk around my apartment complex right now.
Yeah. So what we see here is that Don has fixed his body map with how his hips work, and he's starting to wake up those glute muscles in the back so that he can start to walk normally and straight. Right now it's a little bit of exercise for him, and he's still using the cane, but over time it's going to get to the point where he'll be able to walk straight normally without the cane. Now the third piece in coordination is, again, to glue it all together by creating muscle memory. Muscle memory is when your muscles create a pattern or a sense of remembering what positions they're supposed to be in. So, for example, if you have, one of the big things we see is people raising their shoulder when they reach forward, which is one of the reasons that we all have very tight shoulders. By changing the muscle memory from here to here into here to here, so I'm starting to teach my muscles the muscle memory of keeping my shoulder down rather than raising it up. Now when I go to reach out my arm, it's going to be straight. And it's the same thing with Don's legs, that he's going to create the muscle memory of putting his leg out straight back behind him, so that when he goes to walk, that's going to be his automatic reaction instead of the hip twisting that's been hurting his knees, his ankles, and his back. The last piece, and it's actually the easiest, is strength. Once you have mobility and coordination, strength is really just a matter of practicing over and over to build up muscle, and also to build up cardiovascular strength. So the three pieces to strength are, first, to add light resistance. So in the case of Don's hip, he doesn't even need to add any significant resistance because his own body weight while he's walking is resistance enough. In the case of the shoulder going up, once you get used to the muscle memory of the shoulder staying down when the arm goes up, you can add light resistance like a weight, so that now I'm practicing with the weight, keeping my arms straight out. Because the tendency is the moment you add weight, to go back to whatever was strongest and most comfortable. So once you put together the new coordination and muscle memory with the resistance that you'll encounter in everyday life, you are consciously going through that movement, keeping your good alignment, so that you're building strength in that good coordination. And that's what we're going to see with Don over time, is that right now, you saw him walk without the cane, with the funky twisting hips, but with keeping his hips straight, which is going to be better for him long term, he still had to use the cane because those muscles are weak. So right now we have strength in bad patterns and weakness in good patterns. And what you want to do is start fixing those patterns and then adding some resistance and practicing with those in order to get strong at doing it right. Second piece of strength is to just practice moving through all of your basic stuff every day. Whether that is bending down to pick up a laundry basket, heavy boxes, changing a light bulb, or like for Don, just simply walking. Practicing doing that with good posture, just with your own body weight, is going to continue to solidify that and build strength. For example, if you don't think that squatting down to pick something up is a lot of work, try doing it 50 times straight. And then you'll start to see what a long ways you actually have to go in order to keep improving your strength. Same thing, walking might seem simple, but try walking for 5, 10, 20 miles. Or try walking in a new way that you're not used to, and you might find you really have some room for improvement there. The last piece of strength is to strengthen the most important muscle in your body, which is your heart. Your heart is responsible for all of the circulation in your body, which underlies both keeping your body clean and healthy and free of toxins, and also getting the nutrients to your cells that allow them to go through this whole process of movement. Without your heart to get everything where it needs to be in your body, none of the rest would really matter. A lot of the times when you feel fatigued, or when it feels hard to go up a flight of stairs or get out of a chair, it's because your heart actually gets really weak from not using it enough. Now, the bare minimum is, if you are doing absolutely no exercise right now, to start walking just 30 minutes a day. And if you can't do 30 minutes straight, break it up. 10 minutes, take a break. 10 minutes later, and then 10 minutes in the evening. That's the bare minimum. Now, there are a lot of ways you can start going deeper into this. Once you get sort of a baseline of some cardiovascular activity for your heart, like walking, then you can start to build on it. And in the advanced action items, you'll see high intensity interval training, which is the best way to increase the intensity that you can exercise at very, very quickly. It's not built necessarily for endurance, although it will also build your endurance. It is going to increase the amount of exercise that you can do at a time, the amount of weight you can lift, how fast you can run, how much you can do without getting out of breath. and it's going to be one of the best things that you can do for your heart. So that's pretty much it. That is all you need to know and pretty much all you need to see, right? Isn't that incredible how someone can go through a transformation from, walking with a cane and being in pain to feeling so much better, standing straighter in really just a few minutes. And you can do that too. So I challenge you to get started. Pick 3 things, the 3 things that you need most from these 9 action steps. Write them down on your sheet as the 3 things that you want to start working on now. And for each of those, write down the first thing that you're going to do to start toward that. If it's mobility-based bodywork, go find someone who is going to be able to give you the level of help that you need. If it's P&F stretching, what is one thing that's really tight that you're going to start stretching out on a regular basis? If it's waking up your muscles, work either on your own or work with a professional to figure out which muscles aren't firing and pick 1 or 2 muscle groups that you're going to get moving. If it is practice moving, what are the couple things you struggle with most throughout your day that you're going to start building strength? That's it. Just pick 3 things and get started today. My last challenge to you for today, in case you haven't already, this is the last video in a 3-part series. If you haven't seen the whole series already, you can sign up at foundationsbodywork.com and get access to the whole thing because it all works together as a unit. And you'll really enjoy, if you like this today, you'll really enjoy getting the whole piece together. Also, you'll see in the other videos that we have a challenge going on right now for you, where if you're really serious about getting started, and especially if you feel like you need some help getting started, you have the opportunity to join the Foundations Bodywork community, which is both practitioners and also people like yourself who are looking to get better. And we are on Facebook together. We're communicating through messages at the bottom of this page. You can just type in, hey, how's it going? And start meeting some really great people who are on a similar journey to you or have some wisdom to help you in your journey. And then you also have the opportunity to give back to that community by showing them a little something about yourself, who you are, what you want to achieve with your body and why, and what the first 3 things are that you're going to start doing toward that today. Now, if you already completed the sheet, you already have those 3 things that you're starting with today. And you probably already know what you're working toward, what you really want from your body. So put all of that into a video. And it could be something as simple as, on your iPhone or Droid, or steal a camera from your friend. Put something together, just 3 to 5 minutes on who you are, what you're working toward, and what you're going to start doing now. And this will help to inspire your fellow community members, as well as get you on track, get you really thinking about and committing to what you want to do. And if you post that video below according to the instructions, you will be entered and have a chance to win 3 Foundations Bodywork sessions, which will help you fill in this piece and start getting mobile again, start seeing some of the results that you just saw with Dawn today, and all for free, all because you took the step to start on your path to getting a better body, and we're willing to contribute and help inspire others to get on their path. So please, if you haven't already, post your video below, join the community. We really look forward to meeting you. And until I see you again, open your heart, own your power, and build a better body today.